going to see how you may use PowerPoint to build this advanced interactive presentation with a clickable menu sections that can be zoomed in. So let's get started. So let's select the blank slide. Layout, go to Format Background and make sure Solid Fill is selected. Let's go to More Colors. Then click on Custom tab. And in this field, we can paste in the color hex code. Click OK, then apply this fill to all of these slices in this presentation. Now let's insert a circle. Let's select the circle tool. Let's hold down the Control and Shift keys to draw a perfect circle from the center. Let's make sure it is sitting perfectly in the middle of the slide. We can use no outlines, and for the fill, let's use a gradient fill, and for the gradient type, let's use radial. And for the preset, let's use this one where the gradient starts from the center. And as you can see, we have 4 color steps. We need only 3. So let's remove 1. And now let's make sure that all of these 3 color stops are using the same blue color, and we can paste in the hex code. So now for this rightmost color stop, let's make it fully transparent for this middle. Let's make it 65% transparent. And for the leftmost color stop, let's leave it fully visible. And let's change its position to, for example, 20. And of course, you can change all of these values according to you until you get something that looks beautiful to you. Now let's make this circle softer, so let's make sure that the circle is selected. Let's go to Effects, let's go to Soft Edges, and let's just apply maximum soft edges. And so this way, we got this beautiful fuzzy ball. Then insert a couple of text boxes into this slide. Let's have a look, that beautiful little white shadow that this icon has. So here are all of the shadow settings. So first of all, the shadow color is white for the blur. I'm using 8 points, and for the transparency 0%. And this way you get that beautiful glowing icon. And now let me quickly go through all of the text boxes so that you can see what kind of fonts and what kind of font sizes I was using. And next, let's open up the animation pane, and let's just add a wipe animation to it for the direction. Let's use from top, and for the duration, let's use 0.8 seconds. And now let's add a second animation to this text box. So let's select it, let's go to Add Animation, and this time let's add a motion path line animation. And we can adjust this red bubble. This is the ending position of this animation. And then make sure the second animation starts with preview, duration 1.25 seconds. And now let's check it out. And currently, as you can see, the text box is moving downwards. And to fix that, we can just right-click on the motion path and we can choose Reverse Path. Direction, this way the text box should be going upwards. And then by right-click on it, go to Effect Options and apply a maximum smooth end. This way, the ending of this motion line animation will be much smoother. And now we can double-click the animation painter and paste the same animations to the rest on this slide. And let's make sure that all of these animations are starting with previous, except the first one, which starts on a mouse click. And for this light transition, I'm using Fade, and let's check it out on the full screen. Now let's insert a new slide, and to do that, we can press Enter, and over here at the top, let's start creating that clickable interactive menu. And before we continue, let me just copy this glowing ball, and let's paste it over here as well. Let's just change its color. Let's press Ctrl-Shift-V to paste the style. And once again, it is using a radial gradient, fill with 3 color stops with different transparencies. And now, to create this clickable interactive menu, we'll have to use some of basic shapes, such as a rounded rectangle and a few of icons. And let's paste these few elements, and in this case, I'm keeping it simple. I'm using just 3 icons. Of course, you can insert as many icons as you wish. Each of those icons represent different sections of your presentation. And over here we have 3 beautiful icons from phosphoricons.com. And first let's add a white solid fill, add some transparency. For example, 95% is looking good. And let's add some line transparency as well. Let's try using 90%. It's looking good. And now let's select all of these icons and let's add some transparency to these, for example 75%. And now let's select the first icon and let's remove the transparency so that it becomes fully white. And this way, this first icon looks active, while the other icons are inactive. And let's insert a text box over here, and let's move it by pressing Shift precisely below the first active icon, just like that. Since we have 3 icons in our menu, let's add 2 more slides for the remaining 2 icons. To do this, press Enter a couple of times to create the new slides. Now, the middle icon should link to slide number 3, and the last icon should link to slide number 4. To achieve this, we need to insert hyperlinks. Select the first icon, go to Insert, and click on Link. Choose Slide in this presentation and link it to slide 2. Select the second icon and press Ctrl+K to open the hyperlink menu. Link it to slide 3. Finally, select the last icon and link it to slide 4. At this point, the first icon links to slide 2. The middle icon links to slide 3. The last icon links to slide 4. Next, copy all the content from slide 2 and paste it into slide 3. Now, on this slide, we'll need to make a few adjustments. Zoom in slightly to see everything more clearly. Move the small text box just below the middle icon, and feel free to type in any text, such as objectives. Adjust the position of the middle icon so that it aligns with the top level of the previous icon. Use the alignment tool to ensure it's perfectly aligned. Change the color of the middle icon to fully white and set its transparency to 75%. Then align it to the bottom, matching the position of the last icon in the menu. At this point, the middle icon becomes the active icon. Select all 3 slides and apply the morph transition to them. For the duration, set it to ½ second. The morph transition will handle the animation smoothly, creating a seamless effect for the menu. Next, we'll work on slide 4. Fill the fuzzy ball with a different color. Copy everything from slide 3 and paste it into slide 4. Follow the same steps to make the last icon the active one. Move the text box to the right side and update its content as needed. Change the colors and adjust the alignment of the icons accordingly. We have 4 slides in total, so let's check them out in full screen. First slide. This is our opening slide with some nice wipe animations. It looks beautiful. Second slide. Problem, did you notice? The student icon changes into the flask icon when we move to the second slide. We don't want that to happen, so let me show you how to fix it. Open the selection pane in PowerPoint. Select the student icon and give it a special name. Start the name with double exclamation marks and then type anything, like logo. This tells PowerPoint that these 2 icons are completely different, so they won't transform into each other. Now let's check again. The student icon stays the same on the first slide. The flask icon shows up correctly on the second slide without transforming. Making the text box follow the active icon. Right now, the text box just pops in and out. Let's make it move along with the active icon. Go to the selection pane and give the text box the same name on all slides. For example, name it text. Copy and paste this exact name for the text box on all slides. Now PowerPoint knows these are the same text boxes, and the animation will look like the text box is following the active icon. Adding more content. The menu works perfectly and the animations look smooth, but right now we're only seeing colourful fuzzy circles. Let's add more content to make the slides more interesting and useful. And let's paste this little infographic that I have created, and it is made out of hexagons and a couple of simple lines. So let's take a quick look at how this little infographic is constructed. So here at the top, we have a rounded rectangle, and below it we have some semi-transparent lines. So these are just simple lines. And over here at the edges of this huge hexagon, I have inserted some small circles. And on the sides, we have semi-transparent hexagons as well. And in the center, we have a flask icon with some white shadow to create a glow effect. And now let me show you how we can add zoomable sections inside of these semi-transparent hexagons. And for that, we'll have to create a couple of sections. So let's just add a new section. Let's call it, for example, 1. And now in this section, let's insert a new slide. Let's press Enter to do that. And on this empty slide, let's insert a huge text box. So let's just click once with a text box tool. Let's type in 1 now. Let's select the text. Let's make it white so that we can see it. And for the font, let's use darker grotesque semi-bold. And for the font size, let's use something super huge, for example 715. And now let's make sure that this number is sitting nicely in the center of the slide. And next let's insert one more slide just below the number 1 slide. This is just a sample content. Feel free to insert anything that you wish inside this or any other slide. Let's make sure that this slide is using the morph transition, and for the transition duration, let's use 1 second. First slide doesn't need any slide transitions, so we can leave it at none. Let's ensure that this slide has the morph transition applied. We have created our first section, and now let's get back to this slide. Here, let's insert a section zoom. Click on Zoom and select Section Zoom. Choose the first section and click Insert. Here is our section zoom. Let's resize it to fit inside the hexagon. That looks nice. Currently, we can see a dark background on the section zoom. To make it transparent, go to the Zoom tab and click on Zoom Background. This way, the section zoom becomes transparent. As you can see from the pop-up, we'll jump into specific slides and return to this exact slide. Let's check it out on full screen. Click on the section zoom and it zooms into the slide. Click again and we transition into the next slide. Once we go through all the slides in the section, we return to the starting slide. This feature makes navigation convenient. We can set the slide transition to happen automatically, saving a mouse click. Go into Transitions, check the box for Automatic Transition and set it to 0 seconds. Now, the slide should transition automatically, ensuring a seamless user experience. By following the same steps, we can create multiple sections. Let's create a second section and copy the slides from the first section. Paste them into the second section and change the numbers accordingly. Now, go back to the starting slide and insert another section zoom for the second section. Make sure the section zoom is transparent and resized to fit perfectly inside the second hexagon. Now we have 2 section zooms. Let's check them out. The first one works perfectly, and so does the second. Following these steps, you can create as many section zooms as needed. Clicking on different icons will lead to different slides, allowing for deeper navigation. To keep it simple, copy all elements from the starting slide and paste them into a new slide. Change the title to Objectives. Using the same section zooms ensures consistency, but you can create additional sections as needed. Let's replace the flask icon with an objective icon. Select the target icon, copy it, and paste it into the slide. Delete the old icon and replace it with the new one. Now all 3 starting slides are ready. Checking them in full screen, let's group all elements and add a motion path animation. Using the Animation Painter, apply the same animation to all slides. Ensure that all animations start automatically for a smooth experience. Checking everything once again, the opening slide transitions perfectly into the starting slide with animations. The section zooms work well, and all icons at the top are fully functional. On each of these landing pages, you can create different infographics with varying zoomable sections. This allows for an advanced interactive presentation in PowerPoint with a clickable animated menu and zoomable sections. This tutorial has covered everything needed to achieve that.